Slowhands Rock Talk Show.
But Natalie, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast today to speak to myself about all things music. Before we get started, how are you actually doing? If you're a musician or in a band or have your own business and you're looking for a professional website to be built at an affordable cost, then look no further. Today's episode is sponsored by Nova Web Design. Nova Web Design specialises in creating luxury branding and web design that will make your business shine online. Whether you're a musician, playing in a band, blogger, consultant, designer, stylist, whatever your background is, Nova Web Design will help transform your business. They understand the specific challenges you face in standing out in the digital world, and through collaborating with you closely, they will help you to create a captivating online presence. It's as simple as that, so check out Nova Web Design at novawebdesign.ie and start your journey today. Now back to the video.
I'm doing really good. I love the summer because there's just so much going on, and I really operate well when I'm just very overwhelmed and busy. So I'm doing great.
Yeah, and I've been looking up your stuff. So you're busy. So we'll talk about everything. But what I like to do with the guests is I go back to the very beginning. So for yourself, where originally are you from? Where were you brought up?
North London.
Okay, and were you? Maybe a silly question. Were you exposed to music from a young age?
So my dad really likes music. He's not a musician. He kind of plays a bit of guitar, but he just really loves Bob Dylan and music. And that's his passion, is music. My mum's not really a music person, but so I started playing classical guitar when I was 5, because in the school they were like, oh, everyone should learn an instrument. And everyone did piano or violin. And my dad was like, no, you're going to do guitar. And I was like, no, Dad, everyone's going to make fun of me. I'm the only one. And he was like, no, you have to do it. So it turns out it was the right thing. So I learned classical guitar from the age of 5. Around the same time, I started doing musical theatre, like going to like a class on a Saturday or a Tuesday night and doing like theatre school. So I was doing like singing there and I was doing guitar. So I kind of just did those two things for years and years and years until I was about 10 or 11 when I saw Taylor Swift in concert. And I was like, oh my God, like, she's kind of doing all the things I do, but together, and she's writing these songs. That's so cool. I think I was like 11 or 10 when I first saw that. And I literally came home from the concert and was like, right, I need to do an artist project. I need to do this. So I started like writing little songs and stuff. And then my dad got me an acoustic.
It's good though that you're saying like you were learning the guitar at school. You're obviously learning to sing and perform at musical theatre. But the other thing that you're getting probably from both is the confidence to do it, because the amount of people I've came across in my life where, you know, if it's playing an instrument, I play the guitar, I sing as well, and you know, there's thousands of people out there that are better guitarists than myself, better singers, but you see that they've got no confidence and it holds them back, and it's such a shame because you know that they're good. Yeah. But also, you know, you can get taught to play the guitar, you can get shown how to sing, how to perform, but you can't teach someone confidence. And the only way to do it is to get out there and do it. And it's a shame because there are some people that they never get that opportunity because it holds them back. And you know that they're good.
I totally agree. Yeah,
do great things. So it's nice that you also get that side of it as well. But I was going to say, what age were you? Because obviously your dad's listening to Bob Dylan, who's obviously a classic. There'll be other bands out there that he was listening to that you don't even realise when you're young. You just hear it playing in the car or that, and then you realise when you're older, you go, oh, that's great. But was it Taylor Swift? Was that the one that, you know, a lot of people discover their own musical taste that's different from what their parents are listening to? Was Taylor Swift like the first big artist for yourself?
Yeah, it was Taylor Swift and Kate Nash, but Kate Nash had a lot of songs with a lot of swear words in, and my mum got me the album, but she would only play the ones that didn't have swear words, so I only knew about 4 of the songs like at one time. So I didn't actually get into the album like I wanted to, but I heard Love Story on the radio, and I remember I said to my mum, like, I love this, what is this? So she bought the Fearless album, and I was allowed to have that one because obviously there's no swearing. So I got into that album. That was like the first album that was mine, my choice. Like I chose to buy that, and I had like a CD player in my like playroom, and I just put it on the CD player and just listen to it. And the only other thing that I listened to at that time was like the Now That's What I Call Music albums.
Right.
I love them. Like at that era, I was very into what was like in the charts. I knew what was. I remember them all. I listened to them so many times.
Do they still have those?
I think they must do. I'm pretty sure I looked a few years ago and they did, but I don't know if they stopped. But I kind of remember there being one on an advert within the last 4 years. I'm pretty sure. So I don't know.
It's funny, like it sounds so dramatic. You know, this album, this person changed my. But it does happen, and it maybe is not as dramatic as you make it out to be. But you know, had you not heard that, you would have maybe been doing something else. And
absolutely,
it definitely did. You know, it plants a seed in your mind. I want to do that. I want to try writing a song for myself for the first time. The song might be rotten, but at least you try and you do it. And it does set you on a path, and then it can also influence who you surround yourself with. So you're probably maybe surrounding yourself with other musicians, other artists, and then you're going to open mic nights, or you're trying to get a band together or write songs. You know, of which a lot of people don't do that because they get influenced by something else and they go down a different path. So
yeah, no, absolutely, I totally agree. And I think, yeah, my whole life is kind of now pretty much everyone in my life either performs or just really loves watching performance. I don't really have any friends that aren't into either watching things or being on stage. And that's not because I'm like, oh, I don't need to around, but I just think like, well, that's all I really care about and talk about. And like, I need to be around those people. And it's so exciting to go and watch other people perform and your friends. And if everyone's got a project going on and people have got things going on to talk about, I just think that keeps you waking up every day, because it's quite a lonely career otherwise. And it's not like you go into an office every day and work with the same people. Like you have to sort of create your own community if you're doing something like, whether it's musical theatre or whatever, to create a community, or otherwise you can get quite lonely or feel quite alone. And on the days where you don't believe in yourself, like who do you have if you don't have like a circle of friends that believe in you? So I think it's really important, actually. Yeah, it's really who you are is who you're around, I think.
And another big thing, obviously, we're talking about, you hear the artist for the first time or you buy the album, and it does have an impact on you. But what was the first professional live concert that you ever attended? Who was that?
Yeah, I know. It was Miley Cyrus in 2009 at the O2 Arena. I think it was called like the Wanderlust or Wonderworld tour. It was like right after Hannah Montana, and I remember I went to that and I thought that was so cool. Yeah. That's another
big thing, that it has such an impact. Like I almost regardless of what type of music you're into, I think everybody should go to a concert at least once in their life to experience it, because it's difficult to explain what it's like.
Yes.
One that's never been in, and it's not even like, you can, there's thousands of people singing the same song and everybody's having a good time. That part of it, you can explain that, but it's even just like, I still remember, it was a little while ago now, but I still even remember the first proper concert I went to, and when I went into the arena, the roadies were still, it was like, I think it was Newcastle Arena, so it was 20,000 people, a big arena. The roadies were still doing the sound check as people were.
Oh my God! Wow!
And see, even just the fact that they're obviously doing the bass drum on the drum kit, and you feel it in your chest, that you don't hear it, you actually feel it.
Feel it, yeah.
And then it, like, these people walk on stage, and this is people that you had posters of on your wall, or you've spent years listening to them, and they're stood right in front of you. It's like absolutely mind-blowing. And
no, it's amazing, right?
It's amazing, and it doesn't even matter who the artist is. If you love them, it just changes you in a great way.
I totally agree. I think it's magical, it's special, it's like, it's a spectacle. And whether you're like, it's your first concert and you have no idea how anything works and you're there completely seeing the magic, or you're like me, where you're many years down the line and a lot of it you understand. Like, still obviously a lot I don't understand about how they create, but like a lot of the, I know how to put on a show, so a lot of it is like, I'm sort of assessing and researching and watching like what guitar are they playing, what pedals are they using. Like, I'm very like, no matter what stage of the like knowledge you are, it's always amazing just to see it all come together. It's always very inspiring, and I always come away from a concert like, right, I need to write a song today, tonight. I need to write one now. I always feel very inspired.
It's amazing. Like, as I say, I've been going to concerts since the mid-90s, and I still get that feeling even now. I'm in my 40s, and it's still, I just love it. And,
good.
But obviously, I do gigs myself. So similar to yourself, you know, because I'm a guitarist, I automatically see myself like, what are they playing? Like, what pedals are they using?
Yeah.
But I still, every time I come away from it, I go, right, I feel inspired. I feel like I want to go and write a song or do something like that. But obviously, you've been playing the guitar from a young age. You've been singing also from a young age. Is there one that you're more comfortable doing, or have you got to a stage where you're quite happy with both?
With what I play in guitar, I'm very good at what I play, but I'm not like, I haven't really broadened my knowledge of chords in like many years. I know what I know, and I play what I play very well. I'm very comfortable with the guitar, but I wouldn't say I'm like a guitarist. Like, people I know that can just pick one up and like play lead guitar and like play all these chords that I've never heard of. Like, I'm not. That's something I've never really, not because like I just haven't really wanted to. I don't know. I guess I'm very comfortable in what I know. Yeah. But definitely, I think I'm definitely more of a singer, I guess. But I kind of feel like I'm best when I'm doing the guitar singing and it's an original song. I feel like that's when I'm my absolute strongest. Like, you can give me someone else's song and I'll play it and I'll be fine. Or I can just sing like without the guitar, I'm fine. But when I'm doing the three together, that's when I'm like, I feel like I'm the most impressive when it's all three at once.
So I was looking you up the other day, obviously kind of just for us talking, and I won't obviously give it away, but you're obviously in your 20s. I'm in my 40s, so I'm thinking to myself, we've had a very different upbringing with regard to music, because like, I kind of think like that the internet didn't exist when I was getting into music. You know, but I had to go to the music shop, and even like television, unless you had maybe Sky TV or something, you know, it was hard to find like live music. You just go on YouTube now; everything's on YouTube. But you would have had a different experience, because, albeit the internet would have been maybe in the early stages, but you know, you then get your iPhones later on and that, and you know, from the comfort of your pocket, you have got access to pretty much everything, And it's interesting. I ask people, you know, what's their thoughts on that actual thing. The fact that you've got access to everything, the fact that you've got streaming, you've got downloading. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Me personally, I kind of think that it's a double-edged sword, because there is.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's both. Like, when I was first getting into music, it was still like iTunes. So my dad would give me like £5 every like 6 weeks, and I'd have to pick 5 songs. I'd have to really find 5 songs that I liked enough to spend £5 on. Like, it wasn't like streaming era when I was first getting into music. So it was like, to have an album, like, I'd listen to that for months until my dad was like, here's another £10 voucher to buy another album. So initially it was that, which was great. But now obviously it's like, you can have any song for £10 a month. You can have any song ever made. It's good and bad. I think it's good because it means that people who haven't got big financial backing or a big label can reach those people, and your music can get out there and you can be discovered and you can have a career completely independently if you want to. So it's great for that. But I do feel like, because anyone can be an artist, like, I can't remember the exact statistic, but there's like, it's a stupid amount of songs that get uploaded to Spotify a day. Like, it's a stupid amount. And I guess it's like so oversaturated. How do you really know who's the best, and how do they really know who to put on the playlist? And like, I know obviously like some people have contacts with the people that make the playlist. So whatever, if you don't have contacts, and like, I just feel you can get lost, and I feel like that can be quite tricky if you're releasing perhaps on a really busy week, or in a week when lots of famous artists are releasing. If you're independent, like, it can mean that all the spaces are sort of taken up by people bigger than you. But yeah, I think it's good and bad. But I think it's sort of developing, and maybe over time there'll be a different sort of system, or some sort of, I don't know, playlist or something more tailored to smaller independent artists that don't necessarily have any streams or any backing or anything. But yeah, it's both. I think it's good and bad. But I also think people, it's the listener now, they just expect music. And I think I think it's only really the damage has been in seeing people's attitudes of thinking that music should always be free and on demand, and if they don't like it after like 20 seconds, they're like, right, what's the next song? Like, they never really sits with anything.
I mean, there's obviously the financial side of it, and I spoke with someone just a couple of podcasts ago, and they said that they got their first 1 million streams. And I'm like, that what an achievement. That is absolutely outstanding for an independent artist. And they said that they made, I think, £400.
Yeah, it's nothing.
And
my God,
I was like, that's like, right. If you go and play in the pub and play 2 gigs, you probably make
£400. No, totally. Yeah. No, all the time. When I meet people who like perhaps are a little older and like 1 million something to them is like a star, I'll be like, oh yeah, well I've had like over 9 million streams across all my songs, and they're like, oh, so you must be like so wealthy. I'm like, no, like it's you can hit huge numbers, but it doesn't translate. But then it's like, then you have to find ways to make it translate. So for me, it's like, well, playing live is my thing. So yeah, I play shows, and that's where I make my money, is playing shows. And I've been doing that for years, and I always will. Or like if you get a song, perhaps you'll get 9 million streams, but that might get you a chance to get it in a TV show, and then that TV show will pay like thousands of pounds.
Yeah,
so it's fine. So it's the releasing of the music will not make you money, but what you can do through releasing music and what having music out can achieve, that's where you can make money.
Yeah, I suppose it's pretty much almost like releasing the music is just the advertisement that hopefully brings people to the concerts.
Yes. Or the other way around, they find you at a concert and they're like, oh, I like this person, now I've got something I can go listen to. But it's not necessarily like, oh, that new album's coming out and you're going to make loads of money because loads of people are like, I never release music expecting to make money back from the music. If I do, then great, but that's not it. I release the music so that I can do other things and I can go on tour and I can but for festivals, like that's why I release the music.
Do you still, do you release it just online, or do you go old school and get...
I do physicals. When I do my EPs, I always do physicals because I feel like you have to touch it. And also my dad doesn't have any streaming and he loves music, and I always think of my dad, I'm like, he can't be the only person, like there's lots of people that don't do anything. So what about them? Like, they need to have access to be able to listen to my EP otherwise. And also it's just nice to have, if you're spending like all this time and money on something that's taken like a year to create and all this thought and all this effort into the artwork, like, don't you just want to hold it and like pick it up and be like, there it is, like this is the thing I made. And even if I only make like 100 of them, it's still worth it.
Yeah, that's something really cool I think about, still being able to hold your EP or your album, whatever it is that you've made, and this is mine, I've made this, this didn't exist apart from in my and I've now created.
Absolutely.
And obviously it's not just the fact that it's an EP or an album, but you've also then had to put thought into the track order and the artwork and the overall package, because it all kind of comes into one.
Exactly. It's the thing, and I totally think that, I will always do a physical. I also think it's quite nice, it bookends an era. Like, you finish a collection of work, you have this tangible thing, you're like, there you go, that's that era, right, on to the next. And then you can collect them, and I've got all my EPs like on the wall in my room. I just sit there and look at them because I'm like, I made them. It's nice.
Well, I had a friend a couple of years ago, he must have spent on and off probably about a year recording an album. And, he spent a lot of time getting it done correctly, and it was sounding good, and, he then obviously had to get the artwork, front cover, the back cover, the inside cover, what's the track order going to be? He put a lot of time and effort into it, and then eventually it got sent away and he got it mixed and mastered, and he finally got it back. And similar to yourself and a lot of other people, he got a small batch, I think like 50 to 100 CDs done, but it was then streaming and downloading as well. But he got his CD back, and I was like, how is it? How does it sound? And then he's like, I just realised that he didn't have a CD player. So he couldn't even hear it.
Oh God, that's really funny.
He thought about it. He said, I don't have a CD player, and I don't have a CD player in the car. He had to go to a friend's house who had a in his car so he could actually play the thing.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Yeah, I've heard similar things, but also I've sold CDs to people and I've been like, oh, like, you're gonna listen to it, and they'll be like, no, I don't have a CD player. I think they just want to have it. They just want to own the thing of something that they like. But yeah, no, I've heard that. To be fair, I don't have a CD player. My dad does. He plays my EP. I just sort of have it in my room.
That's cool. That's cool. But see, when it comes to songwriting, do you have a process? I know it can change from song to song, but do you have a standard process? Like, for example, does the music come first and the lyrics come last, or is it? Just a very quick message to say thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any future videos, like and leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the episode and give me some suggestions on who I should interview in the future. Back to the video.
For me, it's mostly both at the same time. If I'm writing on my own, it's because I've got like one line that I see come into my head or something I really want to write about. And then I'll like sort of play a song and sort of mumble some words that sort of phonetically sound like they should work. And then I'll listen to it back and go, okay, well that word, like sometimes I get whole lines out just in one improv. Like sometimes I don't, sometimes I could get like a whole verse out just in one go. And then I'll sort of tidy it up and make it sound better. But then if I'm going into a sessions, often I don't have anything to write about or anything, and I'm just like, okay, well, we'll talk for a bit, we'll see what we've both got in common. Sure, something that we've both been through, that we can write about, we both feel, and then that's usually how in a session it will come about. But similarly then, like that we'll make a sort of beat or like a loop of some sort of track, and then we'll mumble like words over it and make them work. So yeah, for me it's usually both at the same time. I kind of know, when I'm writing a melody, I know what vowels and phonetically how I want it to sound. I just don't know what the words speak. But I know, I kind of write like, I like my words to be quite percussive, and I like the sort of where the T's and the P's are to sort of mark the rhythm a bit. So yeah, that's my thing. But not all the songs. Some of them are just like guitar and like singing and crying. So yeah.
What about when it comes to the actual recording process? Do you have a preferred way that you like to record?
I usually do like a demo vocal when I write the song, and then I'll listen to that thousands of times until I know it inside out, and then I'll either be like, I'm happy with that, or I'm like, I'm happy with most of that, and then I'll redo the bits I didn't like, or I'll redo the whole thing. It's kind of the whole, quite often I've kept most of the demo vocal, like the day vocal. If I I do so many sessions now, I'm pretty good at doing a good vocal. In like an hour I can get a really good vocal. I trust that I can do that. I don't really need to practice. I'm like, that's just doing it lots and lots and lots. I've got very good at that. So quite often I try and get it in the day if I can get a really good vocal, but then I'll sit with it and decide afterwards how I feel. And
obviously your lyrics seem quite obvious. You know, like there's some people will write a song, and if you read the lyrics, 10 people might take 10 different things from it. Whereas yourself, your lyrics are maybe a bit more obvious, but it still can be fascinating because it can change over time. If you remember, like, if you write a song, you'll remember maybe what inspired the song, what you were about at the time. But then over time, you're singing the same lyrics, but the meaning of it can change. But then it can also be a different meaning for someone that's listening to it. They get something completely different away from it. That's why it's always quite fascinating with music, because it's each person's interpretation of it. Mm-hmm. But I aim to be relatable. It's my main goal as a songwriter. So I want people to relate. Often I've written songs about someone and I've been playing them for years, and like now I'm playing them about different people, even though I wrote them about someone else. Like that does. If I've been through the same thing twice, then like it's the same feeling. Like I can relate to my own song in a different way. I used to write more sort of abstract, artsy lyrics, and I think through doing sessions and writing with other people, especially writing with pop writers and producers, I've kind of been ironed out by that, and people sort of saying, yeah, but like you're not really giving away what the song's about. And I think over time I've actually become more obvious and more direct with my lyrics, just because that's kind of what's encouraged in the sort of genre that I'm in. I don't know if that's better or worse. I don't know. Like maybe my older songs were a little bit like would have related to different people that needed things like direct lyrics. I don't know. But what I'm doing now seems to work with the people that I want it to work with. But maybe I'll go back to the sort of
before, I think, when I'm writing more on my own in life or whatever. I don't really know. Yeah.
And what about performing live? Are you, at this point in time, are you quite comfortable on stage? Do you deal with anxiety? Do you deal with imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome, yes, but never on stage. Usually in networking events or going into rooms or going to parties or things like that, then I'm always like, why am I here? But that's because I think most people feel that because most of our careers are just online. Like, you never really see people or get to exist as like, so I never really get to be Natalie Shay in person. Like, because where would you go? Like, unless it's a networking event or a party or like a meeting, then most of what I do is online or it's just me on my own on the stage. I don't get nervous to perform anymore because I've been doing it for so long, but I used to. For many years, I used to get very, very anxious and nervous. Now I'm so sure of what I'm doing and sure of my own talent, I don't actually. I get very excited, but I get very anxious when it's a full band show because I get worried about the tech and like the track not working or something. Like I worry about everyone else more than I worry about myself. So yeah, that's the anxiety is when it's a big production show. I worry about the production of the show and I can't really relax until the last song. But yeah, I'm not nervous to go on stage.
I think I would agree with that. Like I used to get the imposter syndrome, and I'm at the stage now where I know what I'm capable of doing. If you hand me a guitar and a microphone, I know that I'm able to play the guitar, sing, no problems. If there's any sort of anxiety, it's, I hope I get a good sound out the PA system, or or my guitar was playing, for whatever reason, the guitar had a horrible song.
Yeah.
The other day, I hope it's sounding okay now and that. But I know my own ability. It sounds probably similar. But I was going to ask, because you kind of tiptoed around it there, what's the difference, or is there a difference between Natalie Shay that I'm sitting talking to just now and Natalie Shay that's up on stage performing?
Yeah, and I think the more people get to know me, they see it more. I think a lot of people look at my Instagram and decide that they know what I'm like. But like that's my professional Instagram. That's my professional. Yeah. It's like if I was in an office, that would be my LinkedIn. Like that's my professional. And on stage, obviously, again, I'm doing professional. I'm doing a show. I'm being a performer. But like, I am like a person as well, and that is actually like a projection of who I wanted to be. That's that's the persona I decided I wanted to be on the stage. That's Natalie Shay on the stage. But like, yeah, definitely, I'm definitely like two sides. But it is genuine. It is me. It's not like I'm playing a character. Like it is me, but it's just like it's that version of me, and there's way more to me than what I put on online. And I feel like I want to try a bit more to be a bit more like, I don't know, myself on TikTok. I don't really know. But yeah.
That's fine. And obviously, over the years, you have done both. So you've went into you write and record songs, and then second to that, you perform live. If you had to pick just one or the other to do for the rest of your days, which one would you pick?
For me, live is my favourite thing out of all the stuff I do. I kind of feel like I'm more likely to eventually just be a writer. Like I thought that's something I would do in my old age. I'd be a writer and I'd love to write for other artists when I'm doing less of my own artist thing. I thought that's realistically what I'd like to do, but the actual dream would be to just like play live forever. Like I just love it. It's so much fun. I get so excited.
That's cool. And obviously, had to be like, you're getting a lot of support from various radio stations, and you've had sort of TV appearances and that, which it's really, really good. But the big one was obviously you got to support Shania Twain.
Yes.
BST Hyde Park. What's your memories of getting that offer through? And then what's your memories of the day itself?
I think when I got it, it didn't like it's. I understood what it was, but I think it took me quite a while to sort of realise what it was. I was like, I knew. Like, I've been to BSC Hyde Park, so I was like, okay, and I knew what stage it was because I've seen the stage. I was like, okay, I'm on a big stage. It's this thing. But it didn't really like. Initially, I was like, oh my god, I have to plan the band and I have to like figure all this out. So first, it was like an anxiety of like, oh my god, I have so much to plan and sort, and who's going to come and who's going to film me and what am I going to wear, and I need to get my hair done. Like that was the first. And then once all that was in hand, and it was like on the back page of the Evening Standard, like my name was on the poster, and like I got on the tube and my name was there, and I was like, well, that's pretty cool. And then it was like a big poster on the tube, and it was like my name was there. I was like, that's pretty cool. And then it sort of stuck in that I was doing this massive thing in a week, and then I went on the radio the day before to talk about it, and then the day of, I was, because I was ready for it. I knew that it was a massive day. I knew that I had to save it every minute, and I did, and I'm really happy with that, because I just took so much contact. I took all my friends were on the crew as like hair and makeup and like random jobs that I gave them, like my whole gang were there. It was great. And my parents came, and like I was so aware every minute of the day. I was like, this is a really special day. I want to take lots of pictures, lots of memories, remember this, savor this performance, enjoy this. Like, luckily I was ready and I knew what it was. But I think that's because I've been doing it so long, and maybe like opportunities I had when I was a bit younger, I don't know, I didn't really savor them the way I should have done, because I don't know, I didn't think yet. But now I'm at an age where I'm not like, I treat everything like it's the last thing I'm going to do, and I really take it in, and I take a moment to like be like, yeah, I'm here and I deserve this. This is great. Like, yeah.
Did you get to meet the woman herself?
So there's like two artist village. One artist village with all the artists, and then another artist village that's just the headline. She had her own village. I saw her, and she sort of nodded at me and the people. Like we weren't in the same place, but you could tell that she was like grateful and like acknowledged the other artist, which is nice, because I feel like sometimes people might not really. But no, she definitely had warm, and just like her whole team and everything was very warm, and I felt like a lovely day. And like she posted on Instagram and she tagged us all, and like stuff like that. It just shows that you appreciate the whole lineup and not just yourself, which is, she was very inspiring and lovely.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I've obviously looked at obviously iTunes and all that sort of thing. So Problems single was released 5th of June.
Yeah.
Love You to Death was released earlier in the year, 27th of February. Both doing very well. What is the plans for the rest of the year for yourself?
I've got 11 plans. So I'm going to, depending on when this goes out, I'm doing like a sort of image rebrand within the next 2 months. So I've got all new shots and everything, because I've had the same ones for since the whole of the last era. So this is basically, I'm doing another EP, and some of the songs that are out are going to be on the EP. I've got a big song coming out in September with the new image, and then I'm going to announce some shows that I'm going to be doing, and then I'm going on tour in September with Saint Motel around Europe. So that's a big deal. So I've just got a lot in September. I feel like in September it should look like, I want everyone to know that I'm about to start a new era now. Like, I will make it so obvious and no one will miss it. So, yeah.
Natalie, you're going to be busy.
I'm going to be busy, I know.
But it is a good problem to have, though.
It is. Like I said, I operate best when I'm overwhelmed. When I'm bored, I get really sad and question what the point of anything is. So, it's going to be great.
Natalie, before we finish up, I like to ask some fun questions. We've obviously been quite technical with our music chat for any musicians that are watching. So I've got some fun questions to ask you. I'll ask the questions. You just tell me what pops into your mind. Okay? So imagine you could go back in time, anywhere in the world, big concert, small concert, I'll let you decide. What is the one gig that you wish that you could have attended?
Well, my dad saw Jimi Hendrix at Isle of Wight. And he talks about it all of the time, like so much. And so many people have spoken about that to me in my life. I've heard about this concert so many times. And I feel like it's really annoying that every time he talks about it, I wasn't there. So I probably would say that one, just so that I can understand like what an amazing time it was, and how like the sort of show that he put on. And at that time, like not many people were doing that, and how it blew people away, and like how no one had seen that before. And I would love to have been there at the time and been like, wow, this is so new and interesting. I'd love to have experienced that.
That's funny you say that, because I've got a friend who I used to work with, and she also went to the Isle of Wight Festival, 1970 or 71, I think it was.
Something like that, yeah.
And, you know, I don't think it was that long after it that Jimi Hendrix passed away.
Yeah, it was one of his last concerts, yeah.
But you also had like the Doors, the Who, Free. You had so many iconic artists, some of them which are still on the go, a lot of which have passed away, sadly. But that would have been a cool gig. I think that was like Britain's attempt at Woodstock.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But that's cool. Like your dad actually went to it. That I'm jealous. But
yeah, so am I. Yeah, he got around.
Another question then. Thousands and thousands of great songs that have been written and recorded across the years by different bands, different artists. What's the one song that you wish you could have sat in the recording studio to witness the song being recorded?
Probably Love Story, Taylor Swift. I feel like it's so, that song is crazy because it's like, I know so many artists that will tell you that that's the song that got them into being an artist. And the same for me, obviously.
Yep.
So that's huge. And then also, I've been playing this, I play that live, it's not my token cover song if I have to do a cover. And every time I play it, there's like a 10-year-old girl at the front that knows all the words. I'm like, well, I was 10 and I knew all the words. So the fact that this is crossing over, like every generation, these 10-year-olds are still like singing the song that I was singing when I was 10. I think that's amazing because not many songs like actually cross over generations in that way. And like even when I saw the Eras tour, I was actually next to like a 10-year-old who knew all the words. And I think that song is just, I don't know, it tickles a lot of people, so definitely Love Story. I'd love to be at the beginning of the magic of Taylor Swift and what she did.
I think that's one of the things that's actually cool today, which didn't exist before, because my dad was, he didn't play instruments. Similar to your dad, he loved his music. He didn't play the instruments though. But a lot of the bands that he loved, they were all classic bands. Like The Doors, The Who, Creedence, I like the bands from the sort of late 60s, early 70s. With the exception of the Rolling Stones, most of those classic bands, you'd be lucky if they got 10 years and then stopped. Whereas nowadays, there's bands still going that are now celebrating 40 years together, even 50 years together. And it's great that it seemed to be years ago, these classic bands, they went around for so long. Whereas there's bands now that I love growing up that I can take my daughter to go and see and she can experience the same thing.
Yeah.
Still actually on the go. It's not just discovering an album, but you can actually still go and see them in concert and they're still doing well, which is it's nice, as you say, to see, you're out performing and you recognise people in the audience that was you.
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Absolutely. No, if I'm like on my period, I'll usually cry. It makes me cry. When I'm seeing like 10-year-old girls singing Love Story, I'm always like, oh man, like that was me. Maybe you'll pick up a guitar soon and start writing. Like
maybe somebody will approach you in 10 years' time and they'll say, I saw you at...
I really hope so. I used to go into schools quite a bit and do a talk and stuff in schools, and I had quite a few off the back of that. People messaged me being like a year later, being like, "Oh, you came to my school last year, and I've started writing songs and like I'm performing in the school show because of you." And I'm like, "Good. I want that." I think it just takes you seeing one person, like even if it was inside you, it just takes one person to show you that you can do that. It doesn't need to be a star. Just like one person that shows you it's possible to do this thing that was an idea.
The power of music. Here's another question then. Does the perfect album start to finish exist? And if so, what is the album or albums?
I really like the First Time album. That was, I think when I first heard that blew my mind to the limits that production, like I was like, wow, this is production in a really cool way that I've not really heard. And I don't really think there's anything since that's been as cool as that, because it sounds super clever, but it's all real instruments and sounds rather than most of the clever stuff now is like MIDI and like samples and things. But like that was a really cool, like just like full of ear candy and things that happen once and then never again. And I think that was one of my albums that I bought when I was given like an iTunes voucher, and I listened to it on repeat for months, and it really showed me like that, like yes, you can write a song on guitar, but like when you record it, like it doesn't have to sound like just you and guitar. It can be something completely different. So I definitely say the First Time album is a perfect album, 100%.
Okay. Obviously, you play the guitar. Is there another instrument that you wish that you could play?
I want to be good at the drums. I mean, I feel like I've got the drummer. There's a drummer inside of me. Like if I'm on the train listening to music, I'm drumming in the air. I'm always drumming. I'm always feeling the beats. I'm drumming on the steering wheel. I'm always drumming. Like there's definitely a drummer inside of me, but I've never had any like drumming instruction. I've booked a room before and just drummed in the room. I'm not terrible. Like for someone who's never played drums, I'm not terrible. But I would love to be really good at the drums. I think there's definitely a drummer in me somewhere.
I'm a guitarist
that
can play the bass and drums, but it's not until I actually hear a bass player or a drummer that I realise that I'm a guitarist.
I know what you mean. That's okay.
Yeah. And then
a lot of it's just the understanding. And like, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. And the very last question for yourself, ask this same question to everyone that comes on. The answer might change daily, but for today, for yourself, who is your Mount Rushmore for bands or artists? Who's the 4 bands or artists for yourself that you see as perfection?
Obviously, Taylor Swift's got to be one.
Yep.
Then the 1975, definitely. I'm really into this new artist. I think she's going to be amazing. So I'm going to say her, Audrey Hobart. She wrote the Gracie Abrams songs, and she's literally released 3 songs, but she's got an album coming, and I think it's going to be big. So I'm cashing in. Audrey Hobart's number 3. Number 4, good question. Probably Chapel Roan. I think she's like... Some of the songs are not really my thing, but I think as an artist, very special. Like, it's very, very special, and I think definitely has shaped and changed, pivoted music. So I think of my generation, she's one of the pivots, and I think, yeah, anyone that's a fabulous singer and writer, I'm like, good for you. So those 4, definitely.
That's cool. Well, Natalie, for anybody that's watching, you've obviously got your own website. You're on social media. Go on, they can give you a follow. Subscribe to you, check out your songs for streaming, for downloading. More importantly, if you go on the website and get the up and coming gigs, tour dates, things like that. There's obviously EPs, there's other merchandise as well, so you can go and check out all that stuff out. But I do wish you all the continued success.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing where you end up with your career as well.
Oh, thank you so much. It was lovely chatting. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Take care. Take care.